Hi, my name is Jennifer, and this is my story. I was hesitant to do one of these stories, as you know, because I wasn't sure recently where I had seen Jesus in my life. A year and a half ago, I could have pointed to so many different ways. But I was starting to kind of recover from my divorce and meet people and do things, and then COVID came and everything shut down. And I started to lose those connections that I had. And it felt like my world was shrinking. And then my father died last May, and just another loss, right? And they just kept piling on the losses. And then winter came, and it was, people didn't want to sit outside to eat, and people didn't want to get together. And I live in an apartment, and they didn't want to walk into my apartment building. So I felt very isolated. And that's just, I don't do well in isolation like that. And it brought back those feelings I had felt when I got divorced, of being alone and not having a whole family, immediate family anymore. And my boys had graduated from college, and they were living on their own, and people were getting together with their immediate families, and they had their pods, so to speak, and I didn't have a pod. And that was really, really hard. I had Jamie, thank you God I had Jamie. And we spent Thanksgiving together, and we spent Christmas together, but day to day, weekend to weekend, nobody. And it wasn't that people didn't call me and I couldn't talk to people, but I didn't have that close contact that I so desperately wanted. And because of that, I just didn't know where Jesus was. And it wasn't that I didn't have my faith, because I did, but I just couldn't see him. And then one morning I read a Bible passage about we're only giving as much as we can handle or bear. And that there's another one, I'm combining the two Bible passages, but there's another one that says that when it gets too difficult, we always have a way out. God always gives us a way out. And I thought, am I missing something? And then I saw it. I saw my way out. I saw Jesus really just like waiting for me to go that path, take that path with him, and get out of this suffering that I was so caught up in. I mean, I still did my daily things. I still did my devotional. I went to church. I didn't stop doing those things, but I couldn't see Jesus. And once I was able to lift up my eyes and look for him, there he was. And people reached out to me, and I reached out to them, and things have just gotten so much better from there. So much of it is still true, but I'm not suffering anymore. There's this great hymn called "It Is Well With My Soul." The person that wrote that hymn wrote it after something really tragic happened in their lives. And it talks about how he still can be joyful, he can still be well in his soul because of his faith, because he knows he has salvation. So it made me think of something that I thought, wow, this would be great to pass on to other people. And it's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, starting at verse 16. And it says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances." Quite frankly, if I was able to do a little more of that this past year, it probably would have kept me from sinking so low. But what does that mean? Find the joy in every day. Well, maybe some days you just don't see any joy, but you always have salvation. So there's always joy. Every day you can reach out for that piece of joy. And praying continually, well, that sounds kind of impossible. But what I do is I have this morning devotional. Actually, Patty Crescenzo gave it to me years ago, called Jesus Calling. And it's still pertinent for me. So I still, every day, read that. And it inspires me to pray. It's great if you can pray other times of the day. And pray about anything. Why? You can say why, or you can say, I hate this. I don't get it. Or, I really love you right now. You can say whatever you want. And he's listening. He is always there. And then the last one, give thanks in all circumstances. Well, if you really think about it, isn't there always something that you can be thankful for? Sometimes it might just be the bed that you're sleeping in, but there is always something. Other times, your list may go on so long that you fall asleep before you finish. But your children, your family, your friends, your church, your faith, your salvation, there's always something. So when I read that Bible verse, I think to myself, if I do this, if I follow this every day, I can truly say, it is well with my soul.